Okay. Who are we gonna have here? Whoa. Going all the way. Whoa. All.
Please state your name and occupation, witness.
Alright, okay. Gotta think about this.
Hello, everyone. I'm here to represent the Toneido School with a twisty twist. And boom! There you have it, a stunning balloon hit. It's me, the balloon artist you all know and love, Geiru Toneido. Just call me Geiru, sweetie. 1, 2. Balloon.
Oh. Oh. It's gonna be like that, is it? Honk. The nose, not anything else.
Ooh, what a way to capture your audience's attention. I'm certainly standing at attention at the moment. I dare say I can't take my eyes off those balloons.
Judge. Simmer down. Keep your gavel in your stand. Please tell me you're talking about the hat, Your Honor.
Oh, Mr. Judgy, I'm so glad you liked my performance. Would you consider joining my fan club, pretty please?
Oh, absolutely.
And please save your fanboying for after the trial, Your Honor.
Anyway, Geiru,
I can't help but notice you seem awfully cheerful for having just lost your master.
of course I'm sad. But Shishu would scold me if I didn't put on a big smile. Never show sadness, smile, 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 with a twisty twist. And boom! There you have it, one gorgeous cake.
Are you just gonna slowly fill everything up with balloons? I see. I guess entertainers gotta do what entertainers gotta do. Her balloon art's worse than a Rorschach test. All I saw was a severed monster head. You saw that, really? It does look like a cake. Geiru, you're obviously a balloon artist. So how did you come to be a member of a Rakugo school?
Well, my late father, that is, was a Rakugo artist, you see. So I joined the Toneido school to be just like my daddy someday. Honk, honk.
I see.
My father and I know so much to Shishu I missed with that Bucky wet. Ooh, how could he? I want to see him pay for what he's done as quickly as possible.
Your distress is entirely understandable, and my condolences for your loss.
And not only that, but
you have more to say about Mr. Wet?
Every time he comes to deliver soap with us, he yells at me. He always tells me to get away.
Is there any reason why he would say such a thing to you?
He says the smell of my perfume will get into his soba and ruin it. Like, how can he say that? This is a great scent. I smell so good. Here, come close and smell.
How very rude of him. I don't blame you for being upset. I would very much like to smell you all the time.
Excuse me, Your Honor, but please don't let Geiru's balloons bias your judgment. Mr. Wet hasn't been proven guilty yet, remember? It will be interesting to see how long that fire of yours will last. Defense. Now then, Geiru, please share the truth with this court.
Yes, Geiru, your testimony, please.
Hubba hubba, honk honk. Okay, before the murder was discovered.
From 4 p.m. to a little after 4:20 p.m., when Shishu's body was found, Simon and I were standing in the hallway in front of the dressing room. Before you went to discover the body, the only person who got in there was Bucky. Come think of it, a little while before Bucky showed up, Jugimo was barking like mad.
Is that the name of the dog? Jugimo? 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 Prosecutor Blackwell, do you have any objections to this witness's testimony? No. Make up your bloody mind, sad monk sodomy. First you exercise me, now this. You need only do as you are instructed by this humble servant of the Holy Mother. As there are no objections, Your Honor, let us move on to the salvation of the victim's soul. Hey! I'm the defense attorney here, Prosecutor Sadmadi. And I just might have an objection or two once I actually cross-examine the witness. So what are you asking Prosecutor Blackwell for? I'm the one you should be checking with. There is a passage in the sacred scripture of Kurainism. Boop, 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 ding. To stir the wind is beyond the power of a spring chick. In other words, the inexperienced are useless. With that in mind, it seemed more judicious to consult Prosecutor Blackwell. Ha ha ha! He doesn't even see you as an adversary, Sykes Dono. Well, I won't let either one of you insult me. I'll show you I'm no inexperienced spring chick. Your Honor, I'm ready to cross-examine the witness.
I hope you can make Prosecutor Sadmadi see you as a worthy adversary, Miss Sykes. I'll allow your cross-examination, so you'd better strike while the iron is hot.
Okay. This clown. I don't even know.
From 4 p.m. to a little after 4:20 p.m. when Shisho's body was found.
So the murder must have happened sometime in those 20 minutes, correct? But 20 minutes isn't a lot of time, is it?
I don't know. I mean, what do you want me to say? That's what happened, you know. Isn't that right, Simon?
Yes, Geiru and I can both confirm that Master Toneido still lived at around 4 p.m. You didn't actually see him, though. Oh, yeah, you can, can't you? Huh?
See?
I don't really appreciate the big balloons. Okay.
Simon and I was standing in the hallway in front of the dressing room.
The fact the two of you were there in front of the dressing room means you were able to see everyone who went in and out, right? And why were they just standing around, like, in the hallway? Just like, were they flirting? Were you flirting with the clowns, Blackwell?
Of course, are you insinuating that I was daydreaming or sleeping or standing or something?
No, of course not.
I saw everything, I tell you.
Fine. So you say anyway, but did you really?
Before you went to discover the body, the only person who got in there was Bucky.
Only the defendant and your window entered around the time of the murder?
That's right. That's why it must have been Bucky who killed poor Shishu.
Let's take a deep breath, okay, Geiru? All right. So not a single other person set foot into the dressing room during that time.
I already told you over and over, didn't I? There was nobody else.
I must apologize on the lawyer's behalf. Even her memory is that of a spring chick's. Please overlook her transgression as best you can.
Oh, Lizzie, poor thing. Hang in there, sweetie. Don't worry. You'll get much smarter someday. Just like me.
Hey, who are you calling a bird brain, buddy?
Come to think of it, a little while before Bucky showed up, Jugemo was barking like mad.
Something about the dog? What? Jugemo. What? Words?
That's my doggy. I keep him at the theater. Let's see. With a twisty twist. And Balloon! There you have it. My cute little Jugemu.
He's kind of creepy looking in balloon form.
Oh, but he's a really, really good boy.
And why was Jugemo barking? Do you think it's because he saw someone suspicious? If so, then we'd have a new suspect in this case.
Now, why are he was barking again. Oh, I remember, because it was time for me to feed him. So I went into his yard and gave him some food.
Couldn't somebody have slipped into the dressing room while you were doing that?
Nope, the door out in the yard was wide open. I would have seen if anybody went into the dressing room.
That's not true. Add that to your testimony. Prosecutor Blackwell, come down to the stand for a sec, please. How many times must I do this? You saw what Geiru was talking about, right? So why didn't you mention it before? I can't be expected to remember every minute detail. Well, remember them now, please. Did Geiru go out into the yard? Yes, I remember now that she went to feed Jugemu. And I saw her looking towards the dressing room quite frequently as well. This is where the map is going to be really important. Do you recall anything else? It looked as though she were feeding the dog a great quantity of dumplings or something. Jugemu couldn't finish them all, so he buried the rest in a corner of the yard. That's about all I can remember. Okay. We've updated his eyewitness account in an important way. Looks like Geiru was telling the truth. Your Honor, I'd like Geiru's last statement added to her testimony.
As you wish, defense.
We can press that, and then I think this is what we're going to put evidence to. It's either going to be the map or Blackwell's statement.
I was in the yard, but the door was wide open, so I could keep watch on the dressing room.
You know what this means, right, Geiru? You weren't in the hallway the entire time after all, were you?
Well, okay, so I did go out into the yard, but it was just for a second. And the yard door was wide open, so I could still see the dressing room the whole time.
The door was open, so she could still see the dressing room. Prosecutor Blackwell, I need you on the stand again, please. What am I, your lady in waiting? Do you remember anything about the time Geiru was in the yard? Simply that Jugemu buried the food he couldn't finish in a corner of the yard. That's about all I can remember. Thank you. I didn't really need to hear about the dog again, though.
When I finished feeding Jugemu, I returned to the hallway. And then I saw Bucky go into the dressing room, no question about it.
Okay, so around the time of the murder, Geiru and Simon were hanging out just outside the dressing room. Guess I'm gonna have to go find a flaw in there somewhere if I want to get anywhere. Okay, so that's when Chisho's body was found. Simon and I were standing in the hallway in front of the dressing room. Before we discovered the body, the only person who got in there was Bucky. I was in the yard, but the door was wide open, so I keep watching from the dressing room. That's very specific detail. And I think if we look at the diagram, the door is really hard to see from the yard, because if she's over here by the dog, you don't really have a clear view of it unless you're like down in this other part. So I'm gonna present this, just because it seems to be the biggest lead for that.
Objection!
So, you were able to keep an eye on the dressing room while you were out in the yard?
Is that correct? That's right. The door out in the yard was wide open.
Sorry, but that makes zero sense. Take a look at this diagram of the backstage area. There's a clear contradiction between this diagram and the witness's testimony.
Oh. I'm afraid I don't understand, Miss Sykes. Please point out what contradicts the witness's testimony.
What contradicts the testimony is, I think, the door. The fact that you wouldn't really be able to see it. Like, it's not there, it's over here. Geiru was in the yard near the doghouse. Prosecutor Blackwell even saw her there. And while she was out there, the door to the yard had been left open. Means you would have blocked.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, if the door to the yard was wide open, as Geiru said, it would have blocked her view, making it impossible for her to see the dressing room.
I'm squeezing my balloons.
But even if there were, admittedly, a few moments, Geiru was not keeping watch. How much would that really affect this case?
It would greatly affect the case. From the spot Prosecutor Blackwell stood, he couldn't see the dressing room door either. Anyone could have entered the dressing room during that time without being seen. Geiru, why did you try to hide the fact that you weren't watching the dressing room?
What?
Objection. Sweating over there.
Hide the fact? You speak as though you think she had something to do with the murder. Rather than deliberate deception, it was more likely a simple oversight. Right, witness?
Well, I was so shocked by what happened. I was just confused, that's all.
Even though she's trying to keep up a brave front as an entertainer, the truth is that she is being torn apart by grief. For her mind to be in turmoil is hardly unexpected.
Yes, it must be very difficult indeed.
To a disciple, one's master is akin to a real parent. Surely her shock is immense. The way this lawyer tries to pin the blame on this poor soul at the first opportunity. All I can say is defense attorneys are heartless creatures indeed.
That wasn't what I was trying to do.
Is it beyond your comprehension, defense? Your unskilled argument is scarring this witness even further. And if we ask the people of this courtroom, I am sure they would agree.
What? The gallery doesn't get a say in this.
Are you afraid to find out that they think ill of you, or that perhaps you are in the wrong? Listen to them now, with that keen sense of hearing you are so proud of.
He's right, that was her. She didn't have to go that far. I feel kind of sorry for the witness. Why is the lawyer's outfit so yellow?
No, I was just trying to find the truth. Why is the whole gallery siding with Prosecutor Sadmati?
The people understand. They know what is right and what is wrong.
That lawyer's still in training, isn't she? Why is she all by herself?
I hear the voices of the gallery. I hear the voices of their hearts. It's so intense. I feel so alone up here, fighting by myself.
Are you afraid, child? It is ludicrous to come to trial with such paltry preparation of the soul. I command you to leave this courtroom at once.
But I can't give up. I have to keep pressing on. As long as there was a moment when nobody was watching the dressing room door, the defendant can't be convicted solely on Prosecutor Blackwell and Geiru's testimonies.
Even now you would continue to resist. You are childish in defeat as well, I see.
I'm not out for the count yet, Buster. I'm just getting started.
Despite your posturing, is it not true that your resolve could crumble at any moment? With but a little push, you would surely succumb to despair. A little push, such as with this piece of conclusive evidence.
Conclusive evidence, huh?
That is correct. We found a critical piece of evidence at the scene of the crime. The victim's dying message, which clearly implicates the accused, Bucky Wet. Look at these Japanese playing cards, known as karuta, lined up on the table.
Oh no, I can already tell. The blood doesn't match. Somebody rearranged those cards.
These special English version karuta cards spell out a message. That message, wet number 4.
Wet number 4? You mean wet noodle number 4?
Yes, Wet Noodle number 4, as the 4th head chef of Wet Soba, is also known. The message points to none other than the accused, Bucky Wet.
No!
That makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Well, great job, Mr. Prosecutor.
Oh no, this is really, really bad. What do I do? What do I do? Okay.
Would you still carry on your futile fight in the face of this irrefutable evidence?
No, I would refute it. I will refute the evidence. You can say whatever you want, but we won't know until we...
It is cruel to give the accused false hope.
He doesn't know. He's passed out.
You will only compound his suffering. Wise people of the courtroom, do you not agree?
He's right. It's cruel to make him suffer when there's conclusive evidence.
What an incompetent noob. I feel bad for the victim and the defendant. What? But I'm trying to prove Mr. Wet's innocence here.
I know you can hear them defense. Their voices implore you to save the accused's soul. It is time for you to let it go and move on, you inexperienced lawyer. You lack the competence with which to accomplish anything meaningful here.
Is he right? Is this too much for me to handle on my own?
What good is she doing anybody? She should just quit right now.
Now, defense, leave everything to this humble servant of the Holy Mother.
Silence!
Uh-oh! You're on the other bench! You're on our bench!
He's trying to use your keen sense of hearing against you to manipulate the trial, Athena. What a cheap trick for a supposedly holy man.
Simon! Oh, it's nice seeing him from this angle.
And you fop-doodles in the gallery. Can't a man watch a trial in peace? This inexperienced amateur is about to turn the trial around.
Does that prosecutor really think she can turn things around?
The mood in this courtroom is starting to change.
Prosecutor Blackwell, what are you doing at the defense's bench?
I grew bored of watching from the gallery. Besides, if I were to leave this trial to this spring chick and lose my favorite sober shop in the process, I will be quite cross. You voluntarily stand on the side of impurity and sin. Truly what a fool you are. To think you were so easily manipulated by his parlor tricks. Whatever happened to qualified and capable Athena?
I just let my guard down a little bit, but it won't happen again.
Then gird up your loins and steel yourself for battle.
I'm not girding up anything in this skirt, but I am ready to get serious.
It seems there is now yet another soul I must cast down into hell. I was in prison for a long time, and hell sounds no worse than cell, to be honest.
You gonna wrestle him?
Ah, but the fires of hell will not be the end of your suffering. For the sin you have just committed, you shall surely be reborn as a panda in your next life. A white and black reverse panda, that is. And you shall be put in a zoo to be exposed to public ridicule. Ooh.
I feel like that won't work on Prosecutor Blackwell. After all, he's already used to looking like a panda in this life.
Who are you calling a panda?
Sorry.
I see that you are both prepared to face the fires of damnation. Geiru, thank you for your service. You may step down now.
Okie dokie. Bye-bye balloon.
I imagine she just floated away.
Does everything have to be about balloons with her?
Now then, I have a witness prepared to testify about the Karuta cards.
And who is the witness this time? I'm so excited about how many witnesses we're getting. It's very nice. Usually there's like one or two, and then one of them definitely didn't.
The first to discover the body, and someone who witnessed the crime scene firsthand. Mr. Geiru Toneido. The time has come for that ponytailed pair over there to finally let it all go and move on.
They do both have ponytails. That's really cute. They could like switch their scrunchies back and forth. Trade them. Trade scrunchies.
Very well. Let's bring in this witness then.
Go Team Scrunchies.